Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're diving into the incredibly fast-moving world of machine learning as we navigate through 2026. If you're in the tech space at all, you already know things are just evolving at breakneck speed. But hey, we're not just going to look at high-level fluff today. We're going straight from the underlying Python code and the actual libraries developers are using right now, all the way to how these systems are literally saving lives in clinical trials. It's going to be a great ride, so let's just jump right in. But okay, first, a very quick public service announcement. Depending on who you're texting, the abbreviation ML can mean vastly different things. Like if you get a text from a partner that says, "Good night, ML," they're probably using the texting definition, "my love" or "much love." Please, for the love of everything, don't assume they're wishing you a good night of algorithm training. But for our purposes today, we are firmly focused on the tech definition. We're talking about machine learning, the technology that's fundamentally reshaping our world. All right, here's our roadmap for today. First up, we're going to demystify AI, ML, and DL. Second, we'll open up the 2026 ML Toolkit. Third, we'll look at some real-world impact, specifically in clinical trials. And finally, we'll wrap up with the top ML trends for 2026.
Section 1. Let's start by demystifying AI, ML, and DL.
Starting at the very top, we have artificial intelligence. You hear this everywhere, right? This is essentially the massive umbrella term. AI covers absolutely everything, from those simple rule-based systems we had back in the 1980s to robots, all the way up to complex natural language processing. The broad goal here is really just making machines mimic human cognitive abilities. Now, if we zoom in one level, we get to our main character today, machine learning. The absolute core differentiator here is learning without being explicitly programmed. So instead of a developer sitting down and writing thousands of rigid if-then rules, ML algorithms analyze historical data, detect hidden patterns, and then use those patterns to make decisions. Think about your Netflix suggestions or Amazon recommendations. The system is literally learning from the data itself. And zooming into the deepest level, we have deep learning. This is where things get heavily inspired by the human brain. Deep learning uses these complex, multi-layered artificial neural networks. And the crucial takeaway here is its ability to handle unstructured data. If you've got a massive, messy folder of unlabeled images, voice recordings, or text, deep learning is exactly the tool you reach for. It's the engine powering things like self-driving cars and advanced facial recognition.
So you might be wondering, how exactly do these machines actually learn? Well, there are three main paradigms you really need to know. First is supervised learning. Basically, this is learning with an answer key. You feed it labeled data, like thousands of emails that are already marked to spam or not spam, and it learns the pattern. Second, we have unsupervised learning. No answer key here. You just hand it a massive data set of, say, customer purchasing behavior, and the algorithm groups those customers into distinct segments you probably wouldn't have even noticed. And finally, reinforcement learning. This is pure trial and error, folks. The system gets a reward for doing something right and a penalty for doing it wrong. It's how AI learns to master complex video games, or how robots figure out how to walk.
All right, moving into Section 2. Let's look at the 2026 ML Toolkit. If you're looking for a definitive developer's cheat sheet for 2026, here is the current landscape. If you're working with standard tabular data, think an Excel spreadsheet or a SQL database, you're going to start with Pandas for data cleaning and scikit-learn for the baseline model. But if you need absolute maximum accuracy on that tabular data, you jump straight to XGBoost. Now, if you're building deep learning models for images, PyTorch is your go-to. Working with large language models or text, Hugging Face Transformers is the absolute gold standard today. And if you need to take that model and squeeze it onto a mobile phone or a smartwatch, that's exactly where TensorFlow Lite and Keras really shine.
Let me just highlight why picking the right tool matters so much. If you have structured, tabular data, a lot of folks instinctively reach for a standard random forest model. But as of 2026, XGBoost 2.1 is absolutely dominating. In benchmark tests across 15 different classification datasets, XGBoost beat traditional models 11 out of 15 times. That delivered an average 3.2% improvement in AUC score. Now, 3.2% might not sound like a massive leap, but trust me, in a production environment, that can translate to millions of dollars saved or thousands of critical errors prevented. It's a total game changer.
Meanwhile, over in the deep learning and natural language processing space, the dust has really settled, and we have a very clear winning combination for 2026. PyTorch is now used in over 76% of published deep learning research. It's pulled way ahead of TensorFlow for pure research and model building.
And when you pair PyTorch 2.3 with Hugging Face Transformers 4.41, you basically get a superpower. Hugging Face gives you this unified API where you can download, run, and fine-tune massive models like Llama 3 or Mistral in literally 4 lines of code. It has completely democratized access to these powerful language models. Let's pivot to Section 3, Real-World Impact, specifically looking at clinical trials.
$800 million to $1.4 billion. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the staggering estimated loss for a single failed clinical trial in the pharmaceutical industry. The drug development cycle takes years, it costs an absolute fortune, and right now the number of new drugs that actually make it to market is declining. The traditional system is basically buckling under its own weight, and a lot of that is simply because of how incredibly hard it is to find the right patients and manage all that immense data.
Well, enter machine learning. AI is stepping up to rescue the clinical trial process across 3 really critical phases. First up, patient recruitment. Instead of humans painstakingly manually reading through files, AI matches complex trial criteria directly against electronic health records. Second is data management. AI handles this massive, continuous influx of genomic data and real-time wearables, automatically detecting any anomalies. And third, adverse event detection. This uses predictive models to spot potential side effects early, which is absolutely vital for keeping patients safe.
Let's look at a specific, super fascinating example of that first step, patient matching. There's a large language model out there called TrialGPT designed specifically for this task. It evaluates incredibly complex trial criteria against real patient data. And guys, the results are stunning. It hits an 87.3% accuracy rate. To put that into perspective, human medical experts score between 88.7% and 90%, so the AI is right on the heels of the top human experts. But it reduces the screening time by nearly 43%. Faster screening means trials start sooner, which ultimately means life-saving drugs get to the market, and to the people who need them, much faster.
And when we're talking about patient safety during a trial, speed is literally everything. Take the global life science company Bayer, for example. They receive hundreds of thousands of adverse event reports. We're talking phone calls, emails, free text doctor notes. It's just a messy mountain of unstructured data. So, they built an AI-powered engine using machine learning that processes these reports in just 170 milliseconds. It takes thousands of messy text documents and turns them into instant, actionable safety insights. This ensures that if a drug is causing a bad reaction, the researchers know about it practically instantly.
All right, moving into our final section, Section 4. Let's look at the top ML trends for 2026. The absolute biggest shift we're seeing right now is the move from models that just predict to systems that actually act. We call this the rise of agentic AI. Traditional ML is great at predicting, right? It looks at an incoming customer support email and classifies it as a billing issue. That's useful, for sure, but it's limited. Agentic AI takes the next step. It identifies it as a billing issue, looks up the customer's specific account, drafts a personalized refund policy response, and actually hits send to resolve the ticket. It executes multi-step workflows totally autonomously. It doesn't just predict, it acts.
The second massive trend is this huge pivot away from the bigger is always better mentality. We're seeing the explosive rise of small language models, or SLMs. For the last few years, everyone was just chasing these massive models with trillions of parameters. But here in 2026, companies are realizing that if you just want AI to, say, analyze legal documents, it really doesn't also need to know how to write a Shakespearean sonnet or code in Python. SLMs are built for narrow, specific domains. Because they're smaller, they are significantly cheaper to train and run. They offer much faster response times. And crucially, they can run locally on your own servers. That is a massive win for corporate data privacy.
Building right on top of that localization trend is edge computing. For years, ML pretty much lived entirely in the cloud. Your smart device collected data, sent it to a massive centralized server, the server thought about it, and then sent the answer back. But you know, that creates lag, it costs a fortune in bandwidth, and it raises a ton of privacy concerns. Now, the processing is moving to the edge, meaning the machine learning happens directly on the local device itself, whether that's an IoT sensor or the mobile phone right in your pocket. It's real-time intelligence exactly where the data is being created. Which brings us to our final thought for today. This quote from Machine Learning Mastery perfectly sums up exactly where we are right now. Machine learning in 2026 is less about building smarter models and more about building systems that actually do the work. We are well out of the pure experimentation phase at this point. The tools are here, they're accessible, and they work.
So the question for you is, how will you leverage these highly functional, actionable ML systems in your own projects today? Definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next explainer.